Right. Good morning, audience and judges. My name is Rachawut Jetkanchanakritt, fifth-year medical student from Phramongkutklao College of Medicine. I'm here as a representative of team who explore associated factors and prevalence of sarcopenia in rural community of Thailand. First of all, I would like to introduce sarcopenia to all of you. Sarcopenia is an aging phenomenon that decreases skeletal muscle mass, strength, and function. One of the complications that I want to highlight is fall and fracture in this study. According to the meta-analysis in 2019 about this complication in sarcopenia, 45% and 58% reported higher risk in fall and fractures respectively. This is the reason that I want to explore more about this in sarcopenia. On the other hand, compared to the NCDs such as hypertension and diabetes mellitus, I found a higher prevalence of sarcopenia if I use the cut point of age to compare. As I mentioned earlier, higher prevalence in this disease and complication of it. Thus, the small amount of research of the study in the community-based medicine of Thailand inspired me to do these objectives in this project. So, how can I achieve this project? First step, I collect the data from 260 participants, which excluded by the musculoskeletal disease such as muscular Duchenne dystrophy or MG or myasthenia gravis. Next, I let them do the questionnaire asking about their demographic data, underlying disease, and mini nutritional assessment for access to nutrition. Lastly, I use the Asian Working Group 2019 to diagnose the sarcopenia, which I would like to talk about there later in this detail of the presentation. Our study design is cross-sectional study, and it took place in the Thakradam district, Chapchonsao province in Thailand. Before I show the result to all of you, I would like to talk about the process of the diagnosing the sarcopenia via the criteria I mentioned earlier, the 2019 criteria for the Asian Working Group. The criteria composed of the three tests. If the subject fails two of them, the diagnosis will be only the sarcopenia. But if three of them fail, the diagnosis will change into the severe sarcopenia. First, we have to measure the appendicular skeletal muscle mass, or we can call it ASM, by using the InBody 2070 to measure the ASM. And the cut point for the male is the 7 kilogram per meter square and a 5.7 kilogram per meter square for the female, respectively. Next one is the muscle strength that we have to measure. In this project, I use the hand grip strength test for the subject to perform. In male, we use a 28 kilogram, and female, we use 18 kilogram for the cut point, who has the low strength. And the last test is the physical performance. There are three stations to go. If one of them fails, low physical performance is considered. Gait speed test is the one who let the subject walk 10 meters and calculate the velocity in the point of 2 meters and 8 meters. 1 meter per square per second is the cut point in this test. Next is the 5 times sit to stand test. I reckon the time if it takes more than 12 seconds, that means fail. Last one, time up and go test. The subject needs to get up from chair and walk 3 meters and sit back. If it takes more than 10 seconds, that's mean fail too. Now I'm going to show the results based on the objectives. From 260 participants, we found that 35% are diagnosed with sarcopenia, divided into the sarcopenia for 16% and severe sarcopenia for about 19%. The second objectives, the prevalence of fall is about 54%, and I did the univariate analysis. I found that there is a significant association between the sarcopenia and fall as well. On the other hand, the prevalence of factors in sarcopenia is 5.43%, and there is no association between this and sarcopenia with univariate analysis. I thought that the sample collection is too low that cannot evaluate the univariate analysis. Subsequently, the multivariate analysis shows that aging, education, and nutrition are significantly associated with sarcopenia, with the adjust-odds ratio is the way of positive relation. Obesity is also significantly associated, but the adjust-odds ratio is the way of negative relation. Finally, I would like to discuss the result of association between these factors and sarcopenia. As I mentioned earlier, sarcopenia is an aging disease, which means the older you are, the more companion you are. Moreover, this disease is a losing skeletal muscle mass, which means which means moreover, this disease losing skeletal muscle mass, which means protein is one of the important sources to gain muscles. That's why nutrition status is associated with the disease, as well as education. Lower than primary children don't have enough knowledge about what they need and what they to avoid. That means they don't know how important protein is. The highlighted one is the obesity, which has a negative adjust or ratio with sarcopenia. According to many papers of sarcopenic obesity, especially the Korean one research in 2016, there is a two-way relationship between them. Visceral fat from obesity induces the inflammations, which causes the losing of the skeletal muscle mass as well. On the other hand, reduced activities and energy expenditures cause obesity as well. By the way, obesity is estimated by BMI using only mass and height, but sarcopenia uses all strength, function, and mass. Moreover, this study is a cross-sectional study, which means we cannot conclude which one of them caused another one exactly. In conclusion, prevalence of sarcopenia in this rural area is 35%, and it also significantly associated with falls, although factor is not associated since the sample is too low. Associated factors are aging, education, obesity, and nutrition. This study inspired me a lot of ideas in the future. They are the ideas that our team wants to do in the future, such as the sarcopenic obesity or join with the orthopedics or endocrine department to discover more about the sarcopenia risk factors. Lastly, there are the references that we use to proceed in this project. Thank you, and feel free to ask the questions. Thank you.
Very interesting topics. Congratulations. Do you have any information on the comorbidity among these subjects? Because uh, the the outcome is quite high, and the severe is even higher than not severe. It is very. I need we have to explain about that.
Um, in the method, we uh, on the questionnaire part, we collect the comorbidity of the subjects, such as the underlying disease, which such as example as DM, hypertension, and before that we exclude the participants by the musculoskeletal disease because of the performance of they are doing the test. If they have the just musculoskeletal disease such as osteoporosis or Duchenne muscular dystrophy, they will perform the low performance. So I excluded all to prevent the high prevalence result.
But you have that information on the comorbidity. Okay.
Yes, yes. I asked in the questionnaire part.
Did you have any data on the environment? Because power and fracture actually are result from like um, unstable floor or like slope part. Did you
Uh,
have any data on that?
yes, I have the data of the foreign factors in the subjects, but I just the method we do it just ask them that in the past of 10 years after the age of 60s, I asked them how many falls and fractures according to them. But in the home visit, we didn't go to their home and just visit from the environment of them. But in the environment of Tagadan district, there are too many old people. Uh, if we compare to the one that is adult or adolescent. Yes.
Since you mentioned that you cannot calculate the multivariate analysis, right? So Did you do the power and power estimation of your sample size? Do you understand? Yeah, do you that?
Yes. The limitations of this study is the sample size. We didn't achieve the collect sample size in this study. These are limitations of the study, and so that we cannot perform the univariate analysis through the fractures and sarcopenia. Thank you.